Hey there. If you are curious about how AI and more specifically AI agents are transforming the marketing game, then you are in the right place, my friend. In this video, we are diving into an incredible conversation with SingleStore CMO Madhukar Kumar, where he's going to be talking about the future of AI in driving business growth. Everything from cutting edge AI automation to real world use cases that drive 10x conversions and engagement boosts almost overnight. Whether you're looking to skyrocket your efficiency, cut costs, or just explore how AI agents can drive growth for your company, this video and interview are packed with insights you need to see. Let's get started. For the very best advice on data and AI driven business growth, be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so that you are the first to be informed when my next video goes live. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the community members. Thank you so much for all of your comments, your love, your support. Just know that if you leave a comment for me, I promise I'll be back in there with you and will be responding personally to your comments to get you answers to any questions you might have. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, then you know I am Lillian Pierson. I am a fractional CMO for B2B technology companies, and I've been working in the data and AI space doing marketing in this industry for over a decade, since 2011. So it was through that work that I actually got to know Madhukar and was able to get him to come on for us today. Let me give you a few more details about Madhukar. Like I said, he is the CMO of SingleStore. He's also named by USA Today as one of the top CMOs to watch in all of the United States in 2024. He's incredible. So I'm very excited he would be kind enough to come on our show today. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask some questions and then I'll cut him in with his responses. Okay, the first question is, what is AI marketing strategy and how do you find its core elements for success?
So when I think about AI and marketing, I like to think of it in the framework of what we already do in the marketing. And within marketing or growth or code growth, I like to think of it, especially in B2B, under three big pillars. The first one is PLG, because that is aimed at getting your product in front or in the hands of your right users as quickly as possible. The second one is pipeline, because if you're in B2B, then your PLG always accompanies some sort of sales component to it because you go top down and bottom up. And then finally, the branding aspect. And the branding aspect is, of course, getting your name out there so that you get a lot more inbound versus you constantly trying to do outbound. So when I think about all of these three categories, then I try to break it down into jobs to be done in order to now do 10x at maybe 90x the cost. So if you break that down further, then there are things that you are doing repeatedly, which might be very manual. And now with AI, you can start to really take advantage of the lower cost, but also, maybe even slightly better quality, but not losing the human in the loop because the human part is still involved for personalization. And, we as humans, we really understand if a certain piece of content came in from a human versus AI, and we tend to gravitate towards content generated by humans, which is more personalized, it's personal, it's emotional, and so on. So now if you break down the categories, I think of four different buckets on how the marketing strategy fits into these jobs to be done. First one is automation. The automation would be, okay, I'm running a bunch of campaigns, and these campaigns have certain repetitive tasks. Those could be I create a landing page, and then I create some content. I drive that content to that landing page. From that landing page, there is a call to action, which could be either a webinar or it could be straight going into an event or a trial and so on, and then measuring it and then iterating it. So automation in that part, AI tools really shine, where you might use tools like NA10 or even Flowwise. These are all open source tools to then orchestrate your entire workflow of what you tend to do repeatedly, but you do it much faster, and the 80% of that job is already done. So once the content outline has been generated, you go fill it out and so on. The second piece falls under creative. And within creative, there are a couple of different things. Of course, I don't rely on or I don't recommend on writing content entirely based off of AI. But what AI is very useful with is, of course, doing the keyword research and then suggesting outline and then suggesting a bunch of different topics based on grounded research. So you can use AI for that. So that's the second category. The other part of the AI for creativity is, of course, videos, audio, and images. And then there are a bunch of these tools that you can take to take a human made asset and then make it one to one personalized. So I could take a video that I might have created with some tokenized words and then replace it at scale for specific people and specific customers and specific industries. This is kind of unheard of 2 years ago, where it would take a lot of money and a lot of effort by different people in order to do that. The third one is, of course, instrumenting and measurement. And that's where I think AI has also become really powerful. I can take different data sources. I can take it as simple as a CSV file or connect the different data sources. And I start conversing with that data using AI. Either using text to SQL, or if you're using something like a single store, then you can also apply agents to it so that it is more grounded and the response has specific domain knowledge. And then the last piece, which is my personal favorite, is of course the what I would call now as disposable apps. It used to take us months to work with the design team, with the engineering team, even to generate small landing pages with certain functionalities that goes beyond the form. And now, literally, with the use of tools like Cursor or Claude Dev or V0 or Marbleism, and of course, tools like even Locofy or Figma to Next.js code, you can literally create an entire SaaS application without any code or maybe a few lines of code in less than a day. And so now, if your data is really well kept, which is very rare, then you can build these disposable apps for specific campaigns, specific use cases, and you can iterate and experiment really fast. So that's a very long-winded answer to how do I define AI in a marketing strategy.
The second question is, with AI playing such a huge role in marketing these days, how do you see multi agent AI systems be integrated into marketing strategies, particularly for B2B technology companies?
My first introduction to agents was when I did my master's thesis on multi-agent software engineering, and that was over 20 years ago. But the general concept at that time, or even today, is to take an agent and mimic the human cognitive architecture, which really consists of three things. It consists of information, it consists of set of tools that I use to do certain things. So the information gives me knowledge, the tools and repetition with it gives me the skills that I need. And then the combination of two makes me different from other people. And this is autonomous in the sense it's independent, it's modular, you can scale it up. So now if I give specific knowledge and specific tools to specific agent with a specific large language model, which is the intelligence part, now you have something that mimics like a human worker in many ways. And that's how agents are evolving today. Now, the challenge has always been how do you coordinate working with these agents? Because if you look at a classic architecture, there is a supervisory agent which is telling other agents to do certain things. So the results you get back is pretty non deterministic or not predictable every time you give them the exact same task. But now you can finally create workflows with the use of things like Llama Index or LangGraph, where you can define the entire workflow. Now, the reason why I bring this is because that looks very similar to how marketing works. There is somebody who does SEO research. There is somebody who runs campaigns. There's somebody who strings up all the different systems to create a campaign. And then there is somebody who can just go look at the data and give you insights, maybe to the CMO. These, in my mind, are all gravitating towards agent architecture, where there are certain agents that knows about certain things, has access to certain tools, and given the context can do certain things, but you make it do it more deterministically through a orchestrated graph. And now you kind of start to do what marketing teams does, but at 80% cost efficiency as well as 80% more efficiency. So that's how I feel where agents are moving in general, but specifically towards marketing. And this is one of those things that I love exploring and writing about. And this is one of the things that I'll be talking about in one of my upcoming sessions as well.
Now, if you are enjoying this video, then I want to encourage you to check out my book, The Data and AI Imperative: Designing Strategies for Exponential Growth. This book is going to hit the shelves on January 2nd all around the world. We're really excited. And it's essentially where I'm sharing my 4-part framework for developing data and AI strategies that are high reward and low risk to drive growth for your company without taking on a bunch of overhead or making investments into things that just simply aren't going to work. So this book walks you painstakingly through each and every detail you need to know to build data and AI strategies that drive growth. I'm super excited and proud of it, so check it out, and if you like, order it today. And for the last question, Madhukar, can you please share with us some real-life stories or case studies where multi-agent systems in marketing have driven huge returns in terms of improving customer engagement or simply just driving increases in conversion rates?
Yes, absolutely. So one of our forays into AI as a company in SingleStore was building chatbot that we call a squirrel. Squirrel as an SQRL. So it's a squirrel mascot, but it's an SQL agent. And you could do multiple things with it. And it has evolved over the last 16 or 18 months since we created it. You can ask certain things of it and it will convert into SQL for SingleStore. So you can just copy and paste it. Now, obviously, for security reasons, we don't execute the SQL. The user gets to execute it. But over a period of time, we started to see that a lot more people are giving it some SQL and say, hey, can you optimize this further for speed? And what we also started to see, there's a lot of knowledge synthesis, people coming in, and instead of going and searching in the documentation, you might just converse with Squirrel and ask for certain specific things, and it will cite you the documents so you can go click on that. With that, we have seen a massive engagement with both our prospects within PLG as well as existing customers as well. So that's one area where we think a lot of companies are moving towards, which is to build these co-pilots and eventually expose them directly to the customers to help them out with their specific products. In terms of the future, that is one thing that has become so unpredictable that it will be almost naive to say this is how things are going to play out. What I do feel I'd love to see, though, is the ability for agents to self learn, in the sense, if I'm in a meeting or I'm having discussions around strategy, it would be great for agents to imbibe that into their knowledge and look at the existing evolution of what's going on in the market, plus whatever the strategy discussions are going on, and be able to utilize that to then make recommendations, but also go and do certain things up to 80 or 90%. Then the human in the loop comes in and finishes the rest. So I'd love to see at least the agents head in a direction where it can self learn based on the context it's given on a day to day basis.
Now, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and like so that we can boost it in the algorithm and also so that you'll be first to know when the next episode drops. Also, leave a comment telling me what topic you'd like me to have covered next.